What's going on, everyone? It's DV, and we're back in an Islands update. This update just came out yesterday during April Fools, but there's nothing April Fools-ish about this update. It's all about quality of life. So they're trying to fix bugs. Essentially what they're saying is they're trying to fix bugs, and they're trying to make it easier for players to play the game. It looks like this is a really big focus for the Islands team based on their update notes. So what they're saying is we will be bringing the first part of a bigger update that we are working on. Going forward, we're going to be releasing a section of this update every week. So this is only the first update of that section of content changes that they're making. We are revamping the experience for new players to provide a better understanding of the game and to make early stages of the game more enjoyable. So they're really trying to focus on new players and getting more players in, because if you didn't know, a lot of players quit this game because it got too hard. And I've experienced this firsthand, with a hardcore series. It is really hard to play the game. Once you start hitting factory stuff like smelters, it gets very painful. It very much slows down, especially when you start getting like the still press and you start getting like the drills and such. It's really, really hard to play the game. But if you're an established player and you have the ability to buy stuff, you don't have this issue because you just trade. But most players aren't going to go through the pain of grinding economy XP to get this just to be able to buy the stuff that they need, right? Most players don't even know how to do that. So you can see this is definitely a focus for the devs, and they also got all of your feedback through the mailman. They did remove the mailman. Now, the unfortunate is if they're going to be focusing on new players, what about all of us who have been playing the game forever? We don't really care about a lot of these changes because we've been playing the game forever. Sadly, I do not have an answer for that. I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea what happens for us, at least for a while. I think they're focused on the new players. Hopefully, they're going to mix in some new content here and there as part of that. I highly recommend the devs do actually introduce a few things here and there. And I'm not talking about food. I think we have enough food, devs. We have enough food. We have enough crops. I think it'd be cool if we got more blocks, though, and potentially a couple things we've been asking for a while, like teleporters and such. So hopefully, we're going to be able to get some new stuff. So the main thing I noticed for this update is they changed how things work with some of these manual processed ones. So let me show you what I mean. So I have a couple churners over here. These are pretty new. These used to be manis, spinners or whatever. Now they're churners. One thing they said they did was they increased the number of items you can put in all of the following machines. Oh man, look at how many I could put 10 eggs in here. So it used to be just one at a time. It looks like they increased that, which is pretty cool. So the other thing you're going to notice is that they did make it so that these will process while you're visiting other people's islands, or if you're gone, they're going to continue to work for you. So before they used to pause. Now it looks like they added a timer so they can check when you come back. They should be done in time, which is a really nice improvement. Thanks to the devs for that. But I actually just reloaded the game and it indeed continued. So we didn't have any issues with that. It was continuing processing. So that's not just the churner. They have adjusted this for campfire as well. So let's go try the campfire out. Pretty much all of the manual ones looks like they got a big buff. Let's see. Campfire. Okay, so it looks like we can put 10 in the campfire now, which is pretty cool. That's going to save us a ton of time. They also changed the stone cutter, so you can now put a lot more in the stone cutter, which is sweet, especially if you're a new player. Oh, wow, you could put a lot in here. Whoa, how many can you put in? You could put in 50. That's way better than before. We got a cheese maker. I don't think I have a cheese maker on me. Honey press. Oh, this one was big for us. I hated working with honey press. I don't have any honey. The sawmill works. Dude, this is great for new players. Okay, so you can go all the way to 50 pieces of wood for the sawmill now. Oh, man, this might actually be more effective than actually going for some of the other bigger stuff. If you could do 50 at a time, that's crazy. Composter. I don't have any compost materials. Cloth loom. Now, the loom, I don't think I have the loom. I don't have one on me, but that was slow. I remember the cloth loom took forever for wool. Hey, look it. My yak fully grew. I just noticed that. Hey, yak. Time to put you back inside your prison. Get back in there. They also adjusted the smelting time for a lot of these, so I don't really know what that means, but I like it. I like it. So one of the other things they did was, it's actually pretty cool. So if we come back over to the hub, and if you want to go talk to Arius, he actually has, they revised the, they revamped the UI for him. Check this out. So if you go into his shop for totems, now it's really clear when you're scrolling through, you can find what you're looking for very quickly now, because before, if you remember, you used to have to like hover over it. It was a big pain. Now you can actually see, okay, that's the watermelon one, that's onions. This one's for pumpkins. This one's for radishes, wheat, pineapple, sandstone, or red sandstone. So it tells you which ones are which with the blocks represented. This is a really, really, really nice improvement. Definitely speeds things up for us. A couple things I was surprised by with this update was the decreased drop rate of rubies. Rubies are actually pretty scarce. Surprisingly, you don't find many people grinding them that much. If they do have them, it's because they were grinding the boss for pets. But for the most part, rubies are really hard to come by, and especially when you're trying to grind them. Now, this might be the case that, weapons have gotten so strong that Baha is actually a lot easier to destroy, but he used to be one of the hardest ones to grind rubies for, so I was really surprised that the drop rate decreased. In fact, I thought they should increase. However, that might be a clue that they're going to be bringing us new materials for rubies. They want to increase the value of rubies. If that's the case, then that means we might be getting a ruby update at some point soon. I really hope they're going to bring some kind of ruby items that aren't just another, here's a ruby hammer, here's another ruby pickaxe. No, I don't think they should do that. I think they should do like, luxury items in the game. I have some ideas for this. I don't really want to show my cards on that yet, but I think there's some really cool, unique ruby items they could introduce to the game if they wanted to. Now, I do remember some stuff that the devs talked about, adding to the game. I can't mention that either, but I do like some of their ideas for the game, so I'm hoping they actually do introduce those, and maybe they're just getting prepped for that. So I think what they're doing is they're coming back to the game, giving it a clean sweep of everything that's, for the onboarding aspects of the game to get new players in very easily, and then maybe they'll start working on content for us. Who knows? The other thing I was surprised by was they decreased the drop rate for opal, although I get a lot of opal sold to me. I don't know why, but I get a lot of opal sold to me inside of my shop. Like I said, I rarely get rubies. I'm telling you, I rarely get rubies, but I get tons and tons of opals because opals are really, really easy to get. You can pretty much just go and kill any mob for the most part inside the underworld, and you're going to get opals. So one thing I did notice is they did change the recipe for the trough here, the industrial trough, which is a nice change. Let me show you what that looks like. Here it is. So it's now just 3 red bronze ingots and 3 steel plates. Now, I actually don't really even remember what the recipe was for this automated trough. I don't think it was that bad. But maybe it was. They did fix the settings menu, so if you saw it on the hubs, it would actually get cut off. So they did fix that, which is nice. They added a food category in here, so now instead of having to click on crops to see food, you can actually click on this instead. I used to just click this and see the food here. It looks like some food's still in here, though. You notice that? There's still cake and there's still bread. So I don't know that that's done yet, because a lot of the stuff's edible. Like chili pepper is, berry dough is. So maybe they're still working on it. I mean, the other thing is most crops are edible. So I think they just haven't fully tagged all the food items yet. The other thing that they did say is that potions are now drinkable. I don't think I have any potions on me, but potions are now drinkable instead of eating. You're not going to actually show the eating animation. It'll actually show the drinking animation. And then they fixed one bug, which is the sword animation. If you tried swinging your sword, if you remember, it would do this really weird, it kept doing this little half swing, and it wouldn't even fully swing. So they fixed the animation along with some other combat animations. They also fixed some other minor bugs, so pretty good updates, but not really exciting for most of us. I know we've been getting various updates that are interesting, but not enough for us to really especially established players I'm talking about. If you're a new player to the game, then this is really for you. These updates have been for you. For a lot of us OG players that have been playing the game for a long time, what we're really, really waiting for is something new and unique. That's a new gameplay mechanic. One could be potentially PvP. Another could be teleporters, like I said, that can help us improve navigation around our islands. Because then imagine if had a teleporter to here's the food area, so you can actually have an entrance area to the different aspects of your shop. So this is where the industrial shop is. This is where the farms are. Things like that. The other thing we really want is improvements to our shops. So shops are really, really broken right now. I think it is the number one aspect of the game, despite what we all believe. Building and stuff is cool, right? I mean, we love building really, really cool looking islands, but most players, once they get a couple of vending machines, they're really going to grind the shops aspect. I mean, the shops aspect of the game is huge. I really think we need a revamp of that, because most of the time you can't even keep your shop alive or open for at least more than I'd say 30 minutes or so before it crashes. If you get a lot of players on your island, it pretty much crashes, and that's a huge problem for most shop sellers. We used to not have this issue before. You used to be able to overnight shops, which was really nice, but now you're pretty much crashing constantly, or either that or you're going to end up crashing your game client because of low memory or something. Especially if you're editing your machines a lot, you end up crashing. There's a lot of bigger issues, I think, that are probably more important, but I think the devs really do want to improve the experience for new players, which I also think is pretty important, especially since Islands is really consisting of new players, not so much high-level players. I think, we've been sticking around the game for so long that we want stuff and we're kind of bored of it. New players are really what's keeping this game alive. So I do think the devs are taking the right approach to this. I really want some updates. I really want some decent updates. I want shops to get fixed. I want teleporters. I'd love PvP mode. And we'd also love... I know everyone who's been playing the game for a while now, I think we all want this. I'm going to show you what we really want. This is what we really want, okay? You remember this? Hello, Amber. I've been forging the sharpest blades in Azarath. Come back soon if you are interested. Hey, I'm importing fresh products. Come back when I've set up shop. So this desert area had such an opportunity to be such a cool area for content, but we haven't had it in forever. The other thing, especially for new players, is there's no way like to navigate this hub area. Like there's no signs and such. It's really hard to get around. Everything's really spread out compared to what it used to be. It used to be really easy to get around their hub. Now it's like everything's super spread out. But Dom here, if you remember, see right here, I have been raising a large creature. Once it is fully grown, I'll bring it into town. So he's never brought it into town, and we've been selling crates to him for some time now. That dragon's got to be huge. It's got to be the size of the island itself. But really, you know, like let's talk about this real quick. So, you know, the devs did have Bed Wars come out shortly after they did a lot of these things, and they were really busy with this new game, right? And I don't think they expected the, you know, huge success that they got for the game. It's almost been 1 year since Bed Wars came out, and the game's still hitting like almost 200,000 players. That is huge. As a huge fan of Islands, honestly, this game is still the reason why I still make content. Is I do love this game so much. I don't know why, but when I come back into this game, I just feel like I'm at home. So it is such a great game. You know, I'm not going to make any excuses for the devs. They, you know, they have a successful game. I think ultimately, if it means that, you know, we need to wait a month or two for them to really address new player, you know, kind of issues and experience, maybe that's going to fix some of the bugs that we have as well. Speaking of bugs, we did get some bugs, and I did report them to the devs. Fishing is currently broken. They are aware of those, so hopefully we'll get a fix for that fairly soon. And then apparently I'm hearing that certain crops are broken, as are breeding flowers. So if you're having any of those issues, the devs are aware of those issues. Hopefully we'll get a, you know, fix pretty soon here. But yeah, you know, I'm really hopeful for the future of Islands. I really want to come back to the game and really grind it. I was going to make a new hardcore series, but after I've seen all of this new stuff coming, I kind of want to hold off on that so that I can truly test the new player experience and make a really cool new series for you. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think of this update. Also, you know, I know a lot of you filled out that mailman survey, but can you do me a favor and put in comments, what do you think Islands really needs? Because I don't think that survey was clear enough on what you really look for in the game and what you're really wanting for the game. Because if they really do care about OG players, I don't think they got the feedback that they really needed. So let me know what you think the game needs in the comments below. I'll definitely read your comments. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next vid. Peace.